Okay, this is a complex prototype of a directory listing based application based on WordPress, PayPal, Sandbox, and Gravity Forms, and some other PHP custom code. So for simplicity's sake, because the functionality is what our target here, so the look and feel has been kept very simple, just like this. And pretty much two buttons here. This is how you, if I click here, you can see the directory listings. They're going to show up like that, which is pretty much displayed here. And to create a list, you need to click here, and it's going to ask you for a subscription login, so which is already here. And we have registration process, just the basic registration here. So login, and then we come to this insert form, the post page, or basically listing page. Now these menu, all these pages are going to disappear from the next video when we actually get into and start showing the functionality, perform actual transactions. But for just this video, we're gonna keep this so that we can explain better. And to move forward, I need to go into a little bit more detail, and to help you understand that detail, we need to go to this next screen, which has this diagram. Let's make it a little bit bigger here. All right, so basically, as you saw in that home page, there's two buttons, so make list and show list. Show list goes to this the view list page where all the lists are showing, and then the other one goes to this insert form. Now this insert form is made with Gravity Form, and once this is completed and submitted, a post gets created in a draft mode and gets saved into WP database. And then once the submit happens, it gets redirected to this payment type page, which can be shown here. I mean, these are only kept open here for explanation's sake, but when we actually get into it, we'll remove them. So this is also, sorry about this ugliness of this page. There's some, debugging info showing up here, but it's not going to, I promise, when we get started. And the reason these are pretty simple here, because once again, it's just functionality. So at this point, we offer two choices: open-ended list, which is a subscription, which should show up by default, and the other one is a list with a deadline. Like I want my list to show up for 7 days, 30 days, something like that. So this is another choice. Like if we click here, for testing sake, I kept it simple: 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. So if you choose that one of the, let's say number 2 here, 10 minutes, and then we do a submit, that gives us, see, the duration number 2, which matches this 2. This is strictly for debugging purposes, and this form show up the pay for the list. And what happens is, let's go back to the diagram again. Okay, so once this payment type page comes up and we get to select our subscription or single with a deadline, the transaction goes to PayPal Sandbox, and PayPal successfully finishes that. So once it's a subscription, it finishes it creates a subscription the transaction, and once it is a regular one, it finishes that. And all the data we are sending to these forms, they get included with the IPN or instant payment notification that PayPal sends upon success. So this straight hits the WordPress DB, and from there we also get to choose those information based on either subscription or a single with a deadline. If it's a subscription, we send it to here, we just create. Basically what happens is, remember that draft post was created, we just switch the draft status to a published status, and it's open-ended, so we don't send any other logic to it. But in case we have a single post with a deadline, unlist deadline, then we take that and with the same post ID, but we attach some time limit according to that form that passes through. So we just send that to WordPress again, and this time we publish it, but we also attach a time frame. We schedule that so that the post gets published with a time frame attached to it. So let's say if it is 5 minutes, then it's gonna go and the draft status will be, will turn into a published status, but it remain there only for 5 minutes, and then WordPress will go in and shut that down, make it draft again. So publicly that post will not be viewable anymore. To show you the next step here, once this button is clicked, it goes to this payment form page. This is the one actually talking to PayPal, and upon success it actually brings you back to the thank you page, and the status and stuff changes at the back end accordingly. So let's get going with the actual. What we're gonna do once we come back, we will perform 2 transactions. One will be a subscription one, the other one will be a prototype, a single one with let's say 5 minutes, 10 minutes, something like that, with a time attached to it, and we're gonna watch it disappear after a certain time. And once those happens, then on next couple of videos we will explain the inner workings of how this happens and show you the code. Thanks.